Hey guys, Uncommon Ramen here. Today we are going to take a look at another Kickstarter that just recently came in by Button Shy Games called Skulls of Sedlec. But before we get into that, if you like my videos, please go ahead and like and subscribe so you can see more of this content. And also, if you feel the need to support me, hit me up on my Patreon at patreon.com/uncommonramen, capital U, capital R. I do all of this in my free time, so any amount of, I guess, help could help me bring more of this content to you more often. All right, without further ado, Skulls of Sedlec, which I don't really know a whole lot of details about. I was really taken by the art, and you'll see it when we go into it. It's not that the art is phenomenal, it's just that it's very intriguing. The game is about matching pairs, I think, or matching skulls in such a way as to create the most amount of points. And we'll get kind of an idea of that when we look at the cards themselves. But essentially, there is quite a bit of content for this, and it's going to be an interesting thing to look at. So, really quickly, the first thing we're going to look at is the Skulls of Sedlec base game. This I also put the holiday features and the, I want to say, Halloween features in the wallet as well, just because they were kind of floating around unprotected. So we'll look at those last. But this is the base game, and you can see, again, the wallet actually came to me in complete unbroken condition, which is great. Okay, so we'll first take a quick look at this wallet. Just typical wallet for Button Shy Games. Then we have our rules here. We got Skulls of Sedlec. Basically just talking about some terminology here. Setup, gameplay. This is 2 players. You can play up to 3. This is one of those where, unless I'm mistaken, there is not a solo play. So this one does require multiple players, but because of the size of the game, well, you know, because it's a wallet game, you could pretty much bring this anywhere, and it would be a really simple setup and simple play. And I'm sure it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So this is what the cards look like, and honestly, they're all exactly like this. There's going to be some that show different, I guess, setups that you can use that can help make it more of a challenge. But for the most part, what you're going to have is this front section with 2 sets of skulls, and then on the back, you're just looking at the same backing on all of them, just to keep it, uniform. And each of these different skulls is a different type of person who has since passed. So we have right here, the shields show what they are. And if I'll just pull up the little legend so I can go over it easier. Okay, so right here we got a priest and a romantic. We have a royal and a priest. We have a peasant and a criminal. And so that's what you're going to see in these in this first set, in the very first version of this game. And there are, or I shouldn't say version, the very first, the core version of this game, I should say. And so there's 18 cards. They're all going to represent different things. So we got priest and romantic. We got royal and priest. We got, dang, I already forgot what he was. Criminal and peasant. Peasant, criminal. Peasant, priest. Peasant, romantic. Romantic and criminal. Romantic and priest. Romantic and peasant. Criminal, criminal. Criminal, peasant. Criminal, peasant. Criminal, romantic. Priest, priest. Criminal and royal. Priest and peasant. Priest and royal. Royal and criminal. And then the next two cards I'm going to pull off to the side really quick. Those are the features, but I want to show you what I'm talking about when I talk about gaining points here and being adjacent to things and so on and so forth. This royal is going to score 1 point per royal / peasant that's below it, right? This criminal is going to score 2 points if it's adjacent to a priest, right? A priest is going to score 2 points once per level. A peasant just scores 1 point, and a romantic right here scores 3 points if paired. So it's just what you're doing is you're stacking these skulls, and you can kind of see that right here, where the idea is that we're trying to stack the skulls in a specific way so that we can score the most points. Now, this setup right here is your typical 2-player setup, okay? That being said, there are different setups because we have what are called features, and this one is the jack-o'-lantern. So these are the Halloween features. So we've got the jack-o'-lantern, and instead of setting it up like a pyramid, we're going to set it up like this, right? And on this side, we have the gargoyle, and again, instead of setting it up like the pyramid, we're going to set it up like this. And then for our holiday features, we've got the Christmas tree and the bell. Okay. Next up, we're going to take a look at the actual wallet that came for the Kickstarter itself. So Skulls of Sedlec has been around for a little bit of time, and it's had expansions in the past, so that's what we have going over here. This Skulls of Sedlec expansion collection is the other expansions that haven't been released yet. So this is or hadn't been released yet. So we're going to jump in here. This one's going to have merchants, zealots, and champions, I do believe. Zealots and champions, yeah. And you can see here merchants and the picture of the merchant, zealots, and champions. And we'll take a look here. So when we're looking at champions, this is the rules for that. This is the rules for the merchants. And lastly, this is the rules for the zealots. You'll also see that they have a different coat of arms on each of these. This coat of arms, I believe, is also at the bottom corner of the cards. So, for instance, if I bring up the merchants, you can see right here at the bottom corner, we have a merchant's coat of arm. So we know that that is part of the merchant's expansion, because I don't think there's a point in time where you're adding literally all the expansions into one game, but you can add them kind of in a modular fashion. So right here, we have a priest and a merchant and a romantic. And you can see again the scoring here. It says 2 points per adjacent peasant and -2 points per adjacent criminal. All right, we got a romantic and a merchant. We got a peasant and a merchant. We got a merchant and a peasant. Then we're going to move... Oh, I'm sorry. We have a criminal and a criminal. Then we're going to move into the zealots. And again, you can see the coat of arms right there. And in the bottom corner, we have that same coat of arms. So this is specifically the zealots expansion. So we have ourselves a a peasant and a zealot, a romantic and a zealot. And again, you can just see 1 point per priest above or 1 point per priest below. We've got a zealot and a criminal, a zealot and a romantic, a royal and a zealot, a zealot, and a priest. Then we move into the champions. And just as before, the champion coat of arms is right there, and the champion coat of arms shows right there. The champions are a little bit weird, and I showed the rules on here earlier, but you can also kind of see them right here. This champion is a peasant champion. It gets 1 point per connected peasant, and so it's a champion and a peasant. We got a champion and a romantic, and this happens to be the romantic champion. We've got a champion and a criminal, and again, the criminal champion. Champion and priest. Champion and royal. And then we have a romantic and a peasant. So those are the expansions that you're going to get with the Skulls of Sedlec expansion collection. There are more expansions outside of what this wallet can hold. And I don't know if those are supposed to come with it, which, by the way, you can see right here that we are not broken. It is a solid wallet, thank God. I don't know if these were something that had gotten printed before the expansion collection, or if this was part of the expansion collection and they just didn't have a way of fitting it into the wallet because these wallets can only hold so much, and it was the same with things like Sprawlopolis and Agropolis. We're going to jump into these. I think you can buy these separately for $4 a piece. I also think that there's a bit more, because these little expansions right here are only 6 cards a piece. I think these ones might be 8 to 10, so I'm just going to look at it real quick. We have Skulls of Sedlec, the Poets. Now it's 6, so maybe these are part of it too. And again, the Poets coat of arms right there, and you can see it right there. And this is just going to give you more scoring options. And again, I believe you just add these in a modular fashion. This gets 4 points per adjacent non-scoring romantic, right? So it can save you in that sense as far as romantics are concerned. So we got the peasant and the poet. We have the criminal and the poet. We have the priest and the poet. We have the poet and the royal. We have the poet and the romantic. And lastly, we have the poet and the criminal. Next, we are going to take a look at Castle Guards. Just yet another set of skulls that can be to add some fun to the game, I guess. Castle Guards are right there. And coat of arms, coat of arms. And then it says right here, Castle Guards get 1 point plus 1 more point per royal below. So they're supposed to be protecting the royals. We got a criminal and a guard. Criminal and castle guard. Peasant guard. Priest guard. Romantic guard. And then royal guard. Next up is the executioners. Here we go. All right, executioner, coat of arms, and the seal right there. They are going to score 1 point plus 1 point per connected criminal, right? So we got, criminal executioner. Executioner peasant. Executioner priest. Executioner criminal. Royal executioner. Romantic executioner. right, the last two packs here are the Crown of Bones and the Monstrance. These are both going to add more features to the game. And I'm assuming it's just for variability or to add a new challenge to the game. So we're going to take a look inside real quick. This is the rule book for it. Okay, and then we have the altar, and I'm going to show you the back of these cards as well, because they do have some different things in here. But before I do that, we have the altar, and then it just tells you a little bit right here, its flavor. Okay, I guess we're just going to drop that card. On the back of the altar, it tells you, first off, it says Under Siege. It tells you that it requires the castle guards, and that there's some scoring stuff here as far as the altars are concerned. Then we have the Crucifix. And again, we have some flavor down here. Tournament requires the champions, and then some scoring stuff. The Ornament. Reformation. The Sconce. Poetic Justice. We have the Crown. Forbidden Affairs. Then we have the Column. And Death Tax. So that is the Crown of Bones expansion. Again, it's mostly just adding, well, it is just adding features. And the last one we're going to look at is the same situation where it is just adding features, and that's going to be Monstrance. So we got the Chandelier. And we have Unrepentant. Got Coat of Arms. And we have Harvest Season. We have the Arch. We have Peasants' Revolt. We have the Pier. We have Royal Assassins. We have the Monstrance. We have Tough Love. Then we have the Chalice. And we have Missionaries. And I would say the biggest difference between the Monstrance features and the Crown of Bones features is that the Crown of Bones features requires cards from the different expansion collection uh, uh, stuff, whereas the Monstrance just requires the base game. And I think because we're showing a lack of any scoring here, because everything down here is just flavor, that this is the same as these guys right here, except with the base game rules and no addition to it. So just some extra features for fun. There is one other one, a Valentine's feature. I do not have that one. It is something that people who are buying into the monthly subscription, the $10 plus monthly subscription to Button Shy Games, received at some point in time. So anyway, that is the Skulls of Sedlec and the entire expansion collection, including most of the promos. Yeah, so if you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below. I love hearing from you guys, and I get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, let's keep it positive. I will be removing any negative comments. And until next time, guys. Peace.